Hi, I'm Dylan. I'm going to interview Alba for the ICT if episode 93.
Oh, Dylan, how are you?
Good.
Yes.
You think Zoom is better or Teams?
Zoom or Teams? I think I'm Teams because I've been using Teams a lot, and I also like on Teams I can change my background to Minecraft.
Oh yeah.
So that's my reason. I think it's the best one.
Yeah. The chat. Did chat actually distract you when the stuff when people put into chatting? I want to know like if that distracts you.
That's a really, really good question. And it's funny, today it didn't distract me because I had to speak for 3 minutes and I didn't look at the chat when I was speaking because I was concentrating on what I had to say. And then I was running out over time on it. So I had to really concentrate on what I had to say. But afterwards, I really enjoyed looking at the chat because it helped me to think about what I wanted to say next. And I didn't find it distracting. But when I used Microsoft Teams with my class, and last year I had second class, and this year I have the same class, I have third class, the chat was a very funny thing. So we actually had to end up banning the chat for certain times of our Microsoft Teams calls because what we found was everybody was getting distracted with saying hi, how are you? You know, they were having a bit of fun, which was fantastic because in some ways the kids in my class weren't like they weren't talking to each other like they used to talk to each other in the classroom. So they were missing out on a big part of school, you know, and the chat let them ask questions to their classmates in case they were a little bit anxious or afraid to do that. So that was really, really cool. But I did have to say, okay, this time now I'm teaching you maths, so there's no chat. But it was great in that way. And you're asking me where did I do my calls? So I'm actually in my first time being home in my parents' house now since Christmas. So I'm so happy. Then I work in Dublin, and I have a very small house in Dublin. So I had to do my chats in the sitting room. And luckily, my husband built me a desk so I could do that, because otherwise I would have been at the kitchen table. Wow. But yeah, it was okay in the end. Yeah, thanks for the great
looking question. Behind you, like people looking behind you, like saying, "Are you in the bathroom or something?"
I know, and I'm in my brother's old bedroom here. So I've been messing around with things. I found a transformer. Whoa. And a little footballer and a dinosaur. So yeah, I've been having fun while I've been listening to everybody chat on the calls today.
And how you get interested in ICT?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I always have been interested in using technology in the classroom. And I think I became interested in it when I was your age. And when that's a very, very long time ago. But when I was your age, I remember I was in a tiny primary school in Mayo, up the road from where I am now. And we had a television, and the television was on wheels. And once every month, every 2 months, the television would be rolled into the classroom, and we would be so excited. And we said, well, what are we going to watch now? And I think that was the first time I really got into digital technology. Wow. Wow. And then when I was a teenager, I loved making videos on YouTube and learning how to. I actually did some coding, and I didn't know it was coding when we had our old computer. And then when I became a teacher, I just realized how it can make life easier for kids, especially kids who have trouble with reading or writing or with maths. It just makes learning more fun, and it makes it for everybody. And I'm really excited to chat to you because one thing I think is really, really important is the student voice. So people like you asking the questions and asking the difficult questions, because I think teachers need to hear that.
How you can use Microsoft Lens?
So I'm only kind of new at using Microsoft Lens. I've only become familiar with it in the last few months. And during the lockdown, one of the things I would have used a lot was the Immersive Reader on Microsoft Word and on Microsoft Edge, because when you have when there's a lot of kids who have trouble reading and trouble writing, and sometimes if you can kind of take away the hard part of that and make it easier for them to understand what they're reading, they learn a lot better, and it takes away some anxiety. So then when I heard about Microsoft Lens, I was really excited, because it meant that if there was a textbook in the classroom or a novel or even a page on a website, I could screenshot it with my phone, and that would send the picture to my OneDrive on my computer. And then the OneDrive is set up on one of the classroom computers, and one of the kids or two of the kids could go down, they could open that page in the textbook in Microsoft Word, click on the Immersive Reader, and it would read it out loud to them, so that if they weren't able to read the textbook themselves because it was too difficult or they had a learning difficulty, it just took away all of that, and it just made them focus on what they were listening to, and they were able to read along as well, so they were still learning how to read. And that's probably the main way I use it. I'm still getting used to it, but I just think it's brilliant, because a lot of the resources that we use in the classroom are books, and when somebody has trouble reading or with spelling, it can make them shut down, and they don't want to read it. They're focusing so much on reading it that they're not learning as much as they should be from it. They're not understanding what they're reading. So this takes it away, and it makes it much more accessible and easier for the kids in my class, regardless of their level or their ability to learn. And I think that is absolutely fantastic.
Where people find you, like up on Instagram or?
I have my Instagram private because I've been asked by some kids before to be added as a friend. But do you know what? That hasn't happened in a while, so I think I'm a bit uncool now.
And you can find this on Edtech on Ireland.
I'm so excited to find that, Dylan. I'm really excited. I'm going to be famous. I know it, haven't I?
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Dylan. I really enjoyed chatting to you. I think you're going to be on RTE one day.
Next year, if you come, Turtle is so massive. You literally allow load of classrooms in it, and you keep on getting lost.
I tell you what, Dylan, next year when I see you at ICT Edu, we'll have a proper chat.
Yeah.
And we'll wreak some havoc. We'll play some pranks on people. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks a million. Bye. Bye.